Welcome to Fun to be Fit Over 50, real health and wellness that fits your real life. My name is Carol Denman, and this is where knowledge meets action. You already know what to do. Now let's talk about actually doing it. Welcome back to Fun to be Fit Over 50. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you to someone I am incredibly proud of, my guest, Crystal Erickson. I asked Crystal to give me 5 words to describe herself, and she chose passionate, driven, grateful, inspiring, and easygoing. And I can tell you, having known her for years, that is 100% Crystal. These aren't just words to her. She lives every single one of them, and you're about to see exactly what I mean. She's been a gym owner for 14 years, a wellness coordinator for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, a bodybuilding competitor, a mom, and she's launched a nonprofit for first responders. She doesn't just talk about fitness. She uses movement as a way to connect with her family and to heal her community. In this episode, we get into the nitty-gritty of starting slow, why mobility is a non-negotiable for women over 50, and how to stop making excuses about not having enough time. She's proof that you don't have to be perfect to make progress, and her energy is absolutely contagious. Now, quick note for our YouTube viewers. Around the 20-minute mark, we had a little hiccup with the video feed and lost the visuals. But don't worry, you can still hear Crystal loud and clear the entire time. So please keep listening and watching. The content is too good to miss. Whether you're looking to get stronger, find your passion again, or just figure out where to start, this conversation's for you. So let's jump in. Please help me welcome the amazing Crystal. Crystal, you owned and ran a CrossFit gym for 14 years, and now you're a wellness coordinator for Pierce County Sheriff's Department. How did that journey happen, and what does move with purpose mean in your everyday life now?
Well, like you said, I owned a gym for 14 years. And about 3 years ago, I just kind of reached a point of burnout with running a business, particularly a gym business. Making it through the COVID pandemic was quite stressful. And I would say that that definitely started my journey of feeling burned out. And an opportunity came up with the sheriff's department, and I applied for it and surprisingly got it. So even though I was not looking for a job, it just kind of came into my life. And so I figured I might as well just try it. And at the time, I wanted to do something different, and that was obviously different. So I did. I applied, got the job. I still owned my gym for a couple more years. I hired a general manager to run the place. And then eventually I was able to find someone who wanted to buy it from me. And I sold it last August. And let me tell you what, I feel so great not owning a business anymore and not owning a gym. So now I get to do my same work for the sheriff department, and I don't have to worry about paying the rent or payroll or anything like that. I get to do basically the same job and more. And I've come to really love the job that I'm doing for them now. And it's very meaningful to me. I like to be able to take the knowledge that I have and the training that I have and be able to apply it to our first responders.
That's fantastic. I can relate to a lot of that with, me having my own gym at one point and having to go through
Yeah.
the crash in
Yes.
2008. So, yeah, there's a lot I can relate to there.
Yes.
And I'm so happy for you that you found something that's in the same
Oh,
realm
yeah.
of business.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
It's
great.
wonderful. Moving with purpose to me now means doing things like exercise, fitness things that are pertinent to your life. For me, I try to stay mobile, active, and doing the things that I'm teaching my folks about in the sheriff's department so that I can be a good example. So my training is directly in line with what I'm teaching them. Not everyone needs to do what I'm doing. Some people need to stay
Yeah.
mobile just to keep their blood pressure down, or maybe they want to keep up with their grandkids, or maybe they're training for an event. I have a lot of runners. I'm not a runner, but maybe that's what their passion is, or maybe they like to do Spartan races. And so that's what it means to me, is that you're going to move every day or have a plan for movement that is in line with what your goals are for your life. And everyone is different.
Ah, that's fantastic. I love that. One of your biggest frustrations is when people say they have no time for their health and wellness. For women in my audience, many over 50, busy with work, family, caregiving, what do you say to them and how do they actually find the time?
That's a great question. And my answer to that is you have to make the time. And I think that just simply saying that is not enough. I usually try to give people examples. And just as a little background, like I am 50, I have three children. I only have one left at home, which is great. And I was running a business at the in addition to my full time job. And so the thing that I had to do was schedule it into my calendar just like I would schedule anything else, hair appointments, chiropractor appointments, take my kid to soccer. And usually on Sundays, I'm kind of massaging my calendar around to try and fit stuff in because, like most of us, you don't always know your kids' schedules or it changes last minute. And so I try to just do 1 week at a time. I know what my goals are now for working out. Basically, it's every day right now, just because I'm getting ready for an event. But on Sundays, just like some people might meal prep, I kind of fitness prep and kind of put that into my calendar. And of course, it doesn't work out 100% of the time because of kids' schedules, or maybe I'll work late or something like that. But for the most part, I'm able to meet that. And anyone starting out in the beginning will want to go slow because you have to change your life around your fitness goals, and you can't do like me, like just all of a sudden you're going to work out for 1 to 3 hours every single day. That's something you have to work up to. So just schedule it in. 20 minutes 3 times a week.
For someone who feels out of shape, overwhelmed, or isn't sure where to start, what is the single best first step do you recommend?
I get this question a lot. In addition to the deputies and corrections officers that I work with at the department, we have about 80 people who are on our professional staff, and they're office workers. They sit at a desk all day. And so I do get that question quite a bit. And my answer to that is to start slow. Uh, Usually I try to get them to start with walking, and 20 minutes is a great starter point. Usually that's very doable for people. And once you get into that habit and you get it into your calendar, for example, like I just said, 20 minutes 3 times a week, say, then you can start adding on according to your schedule and according to how you feel and according to your goals. But I feel like that's a pretty simple thing. If you can get 20-minute walk 3 times a week, that's a great place to start.
So, you mentioned that most people who work out regularly neglect their mobility.
Mhm.
Why is this such a big deal, especially for women over 50? And what does your own mobility routine look like?
That is so true. I like to prioritize mobility, and literally every person, no matter what their job is or how old they are, I prioritize mobility with them and I try to encourage them to start there. Like I had mentioned earlier, walking is a good place. Second to that, I would say start with mobility. Start with moving your body in all the ways it can move. Our lives now are pretty sedentary. A lot of people are sitting for their jobs. They're scrolling on their phones. They're driving long distances for work. They're in traffic for hours in their commute. And they may even be exercising, which I have a lot of those at my department. They do exercise, but they don't explore the full range of motion that their body can move. So what happens is injuries occur much more likely, and you're not able to do the things that you once used to be able to do. For example, squatting. That's an important thing that helps keeps your hips and low back, your knees, your ankles, your feet, everything working well. And most people are not able to do a full squat, meaning, and I'm saying like down to like the height of your toilet without assistance or without sitting down. And so that's just a great example
Mm.
of as we get older, I think it's very important to be able to do basic things like squatting, bending over, picking up some things, and just being able to not have so many injuries as you get older.
So awesome. And I love that you bring in that point to what you do because it is like for years I helped with bodybuilding and
Hmm.
it was for a look, like and which is great too.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, as you get older, you realize that you can look good, but you need
Hmm.
to be able to do all the movements that you need to get through the day. So it's great.
Yeah. And that's great that you bring that up because I mean, I'm currently training for another bodybuilding competition and I can't do the poses unless I work on my mobility. They're just impossible. The way that you have to contort your body into those poses. So I work on my mobility
Yeah.
with that goal in mind right now.
I did a photo a couple months ago in a bathing suit,
Yeah.
but just even kind of torquing my back, like
Yep.
arching my back, I was like, I used to be able to do this without a problem.
Right.
And now it's like, wait, it doesn't arch like it used to. So,
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
spend
that's
time laying over
so,
a foam roller just to make my back arch.
wow, that's a great idea.
Yes. Otherwise, I
That's a
couldn't hit
great
those
idea.
poses. You have to stick your butt so far out.
They're hard.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. I'm loving all the photos and stuff that you're putting, like your old
Oh,
competition
yes.
photos of your pose. Oh, so love it. Love it. What are the biggest mistakes you see people make when they try to get healthier? And what should they do instead?
One of the biggest mistakes I see with folks is just going a little bit too hard too fast. They get excited, they get motivated, their friend is doing something, or they download a new app, or they start at a new gym and they just go after it, which is wonderful. I love that they have that initiative. But most people, if they go too hard too fast, they burn out real fast. And obviously, that's not a good plan for longevity. So I try to encourage everyone who comes to me looking for where to start to take it slow. One example is I'm training and I'm also helping other people train for a big stair climb race in town. And it's a huge stadium. There
Oh,
is over 1,600 steps to the stadium. And when I tell people to start training, I encourage them to only do like a quarter of the stadium, even if they feel fine because it takes time for your body to adjust to the up and the down of stairs. You don't want to break your knees, you don't want to
mm,
ruin your hips by just attacking the stadium and you've never done it before. I've seen it too many times where people just,
mm.
"Oh, I'm going to see if I can do it just once." And I'm like, "No. See if you can do a quarter of it just once." And then the next week or 2 weeks do half and then work up to it. And this is based on working with a lot of people who are not young, especially, yeah, over 50. Like I myself also did that training. I took it slow. I paid attention to what my physical therapist encouraged me to do. I came back from a knee injury and started training on stairs. And now I can do the whole stadium multiple times with a weight vest, but I started slow.
Wow.
So, just like that
Wow.
person who's maybe gonna start with a 20-minute walk 3 times a week, my guess is at the end of the month, they're gonna be able to do a lot more than that, and they're gonna want to do more. They're just gonna feel better mentally, physically, emotionally. And so it will come naturally.
Uh-huh.
But and like I say, it's hard for a lot of folks, especially with a lot of the men that I work with at the department. They, of course, have healthy egos and they do not want to listen to me. But they're getting better at that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I had a client. years ago that he would go to the baseball stadium, and he said, to climb up it, just even to go get a seat for a baseball game was a challenge for
Yeah.
him. And he said, I was at the base of it, and he goes, I had this desire to run up it because he'd gotten fit over the time, working with me. So it is that when you said you're gonna want to do it. Oh,
And like you've been successful doing what you started with, and so you want more. But people have to just remember that it is better to start slow and work up to it, every week or two or month, then add on some new things. Because your body, believe it or not, it doesn't automatically become stronger. You have to give it time for all of those
uh-huh.
tendons and tissues and muscles to rebuild and get ready for doing harder things.
I love that you work out with your sons, running bleachers and staying active together. How has movement become a form of connection for in your family? And what advice would you have for women who want to be active with their kids and grandkids?
That is a wonderful question, and it is such a blessing to me that I get to share fitness with my children. It came by them kind of naturally in our family. I remember my grandma doing like sit-ups and riding her exercise bike. I mean, she would be like 120 years old right now if she was still alive. But even back then, when we would go visit her, she was exercising. And then my mom did all of the classic videos, the VHS tapes, of course, like, because that was the
Mhm, mhm.
70s and 80s. So I got to watch her. And then as I got older, I participated with her, and she would go do step aerobics, with people in warehouses, and I would go with her and I would see her doing these things. And so it's really been kind of passed down throughout our family. Being a gym owner, I opened my gym when my kids were not even one, still breastfeeding, 3 and 7. And
Oh.
so they kind of were forced into it, being a part of the fitness life. But they've been able to, grow inside of a gym, especially during COVID. We just had school there. They came with me every day to work. So they got to see kind of what that business ownership is, and also do a lot of physical fitness. And so now
Mhm.
being 15, 20, and 24, uh, they are all so fit, so muscular. My two youngest, I regularly meet them and we do the stairs, like you say, every week. My oldest is off and running 24, doing his own thing, but also keeping up with his fitness. And for women who want to be active with their kids, I would say the number one thing is make a plan. Literally every weekend, my 20-year-old and me look at our calendars and verify we're going to be there Sunday morning at 9. And if something comes up, of course, we tell each other. And then my youngest, he's 15, so he just has to come with me no matter what. But so I would say make a plan. Sometimes we'll go hiking, so we make a plan on the weekends. When they were younger, even I would take them and we would do like child and parent fitness competitions, or we would do like a 5K together. And those are things that we would, sign up for together. We would plan it and do it, you know, or people who like to just go for walks, take the kids. That's why I feel so blessed that my boys were able to see all of my fitness life. And so now they're just very fit and very muscular. All they do is flex and show me their muscles now.
I love it. That's great. That's awesome.
Mm.
Uh, Life gets stressful, motivation disappears. How do you stay consistent on the hard days? And what do you tell your deputies you work with when they're struggling?
Yes, life does get very stressful. I will attest to that. And just from my experience, I would say that through all of my trials in my life, whether it be relationships or death in the family or people needing care, fitness was always a stress relief. And so that's what I try to always
Mm.
remember. If I feel like I'm too overwhelmed by life, that maybe I just need a break to go move. And that's another reason why I recommend mobility to folks so much, is that even if you don't have enough energy or motivation to go do a full workout or go for a run, probably you could stretch or you could go walk. And the mental health benefits of moving your body are amazing. And not only are they amazing, but they have been proven over and over again in studies worldwide for so many years. And that's why I recommend that to my deputies as well. Sometimes they'll come in the gym, which my office is inside of our gym, and I can tell that it's been a long day or they just got back from a call and they don't know what to do. They literally kind of just walk around not knowing where to start. And I just tell them to go get on the treadmill and just start walking, because they have to clear their head first to even think about what they want to do.
Mhm.
And so that's what I would recommend to really anyone. I know there's been times probably in all of our lives where we don't know what to do. We're almost paralyzed with stress. You just sit there and you don't know what to do. Go walk. That's the simplest thing you can do. And if you can, go outside. If you can't, get on a treadmill. Put your headphones on, listen to your favorite music. Literally, if you can do that for 10 minutes, things will change. And that's what I always remember. If I'm low on motivation, I
Mm.
know that at the end of my workout or the end of my walk, I will always feel better. I have never felt worse.
That's so true.
Hmm.
There's so much truth in all of that. That's awesome. Great advice. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It's so true. It is so true. Movement really, truly, like I'm doing that thing for that mental mile right now
Yes.
because I contacted Rhonda because after I was like finally like I'm gonna start doing this and like instead of walking for my health, or my legs or my, fitness, my endurance or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm going to do this mile and literally do it, like go out with the intention of this is for my mental health. And
Yes.
just even doing that 1 mile can take me anywhere from 16 to 20 minutes, depending on if I stop and pet a dog or whatever. Cause I'm not trying to like do times or anything, but
Right.
I'm telling you, I get so much like creativity. I've finished a book already, like different things. Like it's great. Yeah, movement
Yes.
is amazing.
The best.
You've been training for a wellness competition and you've been very open about using isogenics products. How do you balance nutrition, training, and real life? And what's your message to women who feel like they have to be perfect to make progress?
Oh, wow. So, I am training for a wellness competition. Originally, I was going to do June, but because my progress has not been perfect, I actually pushed it out to July. So this is a great question, and very appropriate. I'm 50 and my body doesn't do the same things as it used to do when I was in my 30s doing bodybuilding competitions. Surprise, surprise, right? And
Right.
so I've just had to make adjustments. We have a goal of what the body will look like for that type of class, which is wellness, and it has certain requirements for the body, right? And it will just take me a little bit longer to get there. So, um, using isogenics actually has been incredible. I've used isogenics since 2009, and actually, my whole family has, my kids have. I've used it for them is since they could like have regular food. My parents also still use isogenics. They're in their 70s, still very active, riding bikes. I set them up with a workout program. And I really do attribute that to them having like balanced nutrition for so many years. Um, but
Mhm.
particularly right now, I've been actually using a lot of peptides to help meet the goals that I have for this bodybuilding competition. And some of those peptides
Mhm.
will kind of run amok with your digestive system. And what I have found is I have not experienced any of those type of side effects that people have. since I've been using my isogenic shakes because I get all of my nutrition, all of my probiotics, all of my fiber. Like, I don't have any nutritional deficiencies because I've been using those. So, um, in addition to them being so good nutritionally, it's super easy and they're delicious. Right now, I'm pretty much just eating eggs, turkey, and fish. And so those isogenic shakes, if I'm having chocolate, or I usually will make like a orange flavored one with emergency, and those are like my treats for the
Mm.
day. So those have been definitely lifesavers for me to be able to meet the goals that I have for this competition. And in regards to being perfect, like literally no one is perfect, you know, and I know that you know this, Carol, like every person that I'm on with my bodybuilding team, we all have our different struggles, and it is never a perfectly straight line to your goals. There are lots of mountains, there are lots of barriers, obstacles to get through, things that you didn't even think of in the beginning, you know, that might go wonky with your body, or it might get illuminated during the time that you're trying to reach your goals. And you just have to adjust. So I tell people a lot, like, I'm not perfect, but I don't give up and I keep going. And that's all you can do. And so here I am, still not giving up, not perfect, but still going after it.
It's fantastic. What a good message. Really good message. And I love that. Like, I didn't know that you pushed it off till July.
Yeah.
I love, and the way that you just said that, like, it's just, that's the reality of it.
Hmm.
And you're still doing it. That's
Yes.
great. Still showing up.
Yep.
Hmm. Wonderful. How do you help people measure progress beyond the scale and the mirror, especially for women over 50 whose bodies change in ways they don't always expect?
Mhm. Isn't that so true? Um, Usually when I'm working with people, and this is a wide variety of people and a wide variety of ages, a lot of different situations, different jobs that people are in, I always ask them how they feel. And, you know, and I kind of interrogate them a little bit, because they're not allowed to just be like, "Fine." I'm like, "Well, okay, so how does it feel when you wake up in the morning now? Because you used to tell me that when you woke up in the morning, you felt A, B, or C." And so I'll ask them specifics like that, or tell me about your walk. Have you been as short of breath in your walk as you used to be? You know, and they'll be like, "Well, no," you know, or were you able to go take your dog for a walk for the entire way? You know, or with my deputies, I'll ask them, well, how is that shoulder feeling? You know, now that you've been working on mobility, are you able to do some things that you weren't able to do? And so to me, those are much bigger than any sort of scale or mirror. A lot of people talk about how do you feel in your clothes, and that's a great one. For me, when I feel bad in my clothes, that is when it alerts me that I need to make some changes because I like to feel good in my clothes. And I don't necessarily look at the scale to determine how I feel. It really just is, how do I feel? You know, when I wake up in the morning, yeah, am I so stiff I can't move? You know, like I actually had something like that happen a couple years ago where my hip flexors were so tight every morning. So I had to do something about it. So I did. You know, every morning I got up and I stretched those dang hip flexors. So, and now they're fine. So, there's a lot of different things to try out there. And I think that as we navigate being older, it just helps to reach out to people who are in the same age group, right? But who have found some solutions. Don't try to just take it on by
Yeah.
yourself. You know, don't fully rely on Chat GPT, you know, but talk to real people in your communities or in your circle of friends who seem to, you know, have figured something out, because I think that's super helpful. I know that even in my bodybuilding team, I think I'm the oldest one in the team, you know, but it's so fun to be able to chat with everyone and find out their different solutions and realize that you're not alone in the struggle, no matter what your age. So even though we might be 50 and up, Like, dang, I'm glad I'm not in my 20s anymore. They got problems that I don't want anymore.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
Yes.
Ugh. Yeah. I, I love that. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, because the scale and the mirror, I tell people, like some people, they need to throw their scale away. They need to
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
they just weigh when they go to the doctor. That's it.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
They're so like addicted to the
Mhm.
scale. But but it really is like if you feel good in your clothes or you don't, there's your
Yeah,
indicator.
you're right.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the things that are just
Yeah.
meaningful to your life, like if you enjoy being able to walk without pain, and you started training or started working on your mobility and now you can walk without pain. I mean, that's a celebration right there. I mean, I feel like every time
Yeah.
I can work out successfully, that's like it's a party, I'm being joyful for that. So,
Mhm. It's great. And finally, I had the privilege of helping with a competition years ago. And look at you now. Thriving, running a nonprofit, creating a wellness program from scratch. So I have to ask, what does fun to be fit over 50 mean to you?
for being fit over 50 means freedom to me. I am having such a great time now that I am no longer a brick and mortar business owner. I will say that definitely helps because that took a lot of stress off of my plate. But having the knowledge
Mhm.
that I have now and being healthy to be able to use that knowledge is so much fun. I love my job at the sheriff department, and I love that I get to bring all these years of knowledge to them, to a department that has never had anything internally in regards to wellness and fitness. Like, this is like a whole new world to them, and so I feel so honored to be that person to be able to bring it to them and to start new programs for them. Since I sold my brick and mortar gym, I think I'm just a serial entrepreneur, but I had started a nonprofit. Well, with the intention, the nonprofit is to provide resources for all first responders in this area, which is Pierce County. And I did that because not only do I work for the sheriff department, but prior to that, I had been working with other local police departments, helping them with their fitness at my gym. And also, I had recently started a fitness program for two local fire departments at my gym. So, along with, like I said, working at the sheriff department, I've been able to establish relationships throughout this area for police and fire. So, technically, I would be considered a wellness coach for a lot of first responders because their needs are very similar. And the relationships that I've been able to build from my gym have carried over. And in order to be able to do that, it has to be a nonprofit in this sector, working with folks, through the government and with the funding that is different for police and fire. So it's quite an honor to be able
Mm.
to have another solution to bring resources when maybe their departments are limited with budgets and policy. And so it's been great to be able to say, hey, well, I've got a nonprofit, I can help you.
Mm. Ah, that's so great. I'm so proud of you. That is like and not only do I hope that people that need to start moving their body and making better choices for themselves watch this, but also I would love to spread this to other trainers
Mhm.
that hear like what you've done, what you've accomplished, and how to take the career as a personal trainer or fitness
Mhm.
instructor or whatever it is they are, and how to expand that. And
Oh, yeah.
you're a perfect example
Yeah.
of somebody that took the bull by its horns and told it where to go. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and with so many first responder departments, they need this, and the wellness programs are fairly new, especially up here. I know in California, there's a little bit more progress with a lot of the police and fire departments, but they need
Mhm.
people. So yeah, if you know people or you are someone who has knowledge like I do and want to spread it within this community, they need us because they don't know how to do it. They've been
Mhm.
fighting crime this whole time and we have been fighting
Right.
unhealthiness. And so they need us to
Right.
come and help them because they don't have the energy to like really dive into that stuff. And if we can bring it into their departments and help them, then it helps the community as a whole.
Oh, yes. Yes. Right
Hmm.
there. That's a clip that we're definitely
Yes.
gonna be spreading all over the internet. That was so good. That was so good, Crystal. Really good. Yeah. I mean, it's so true. When I had my brick and mortar gym too, a lot of deputies, because my ex-husband was a deputy sheriff
Okay.
for years. And so I worked with a lot of deputies as well. And they are definitely they come in to do the work. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they're different
Yep.
than just a client that's
Yep.
like they come in because they want to lose some belly fat. That they're coming in to get strong, fast,
Yes. Yep.
you
Just
know,
tell them what to do.
agile, just tell them what to do. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me, Crystal. I am extremely proud of you. Extremely proud of you. And I am just like, this is going to help a lot of people. And how do people get a hold of you?
People can reach me on social media through Facebook, Instagram, or they can also visit our nonprofit webpage, which is lionheartfit.org. And yeah, ask me questions, get my input on things. I would love to help people. I love to spread wellness in multiple communities, whether it's with our first responders or just anyone in the community.
Wonderful. Okay. And I'll put that in the
Yeah.
description too. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I
Yes.
appreciate this a lot.
Yes. It's my pleasure.
Before we go, I want to share something important. This podcast is all about sharing real life experiences, insights, and inspiration. But it's not a substitute for professional medical advice. I'm your cheerleader and fellow traveler on this journey, not your doctor. Everyone's body is different. What works for me or my guest might not be right for you. So please always check with your healthcare provider before starting any new fitness routine, changing up your eating habits, or trying something new. You know your body best, and partnering with a good doctor is part of taking care of that beautiful body of yours. This show is for educational and informational purposes only. By listening, you agree that you're ultimately responsible for your own health decisions. Now go out there and have some fun being fit.